Jack knew this, Palmer knew this, Hogan knew this, Seve knew this. Why don't you? Hi guys, I'm Alex, I'm a PJ golf professional and welcome down to the channel. We're on a mint hole here today. Actually, for a fact, we are on the hardest hole here at Watcham Hole, the 13th, stroke index 1, also known as a card wrecker. So this is why I think this will honestly change your game today, because we're going to look at fundamentals. If I said to you the amount of times people come to me and straight away I see their fundamentals are totally wrong, and then this being literally the main reason they don't perform as good as they can, or you don't perform as good as you can. So we're going to look at the fundamentals. I've seen so many comments on this saying, and I see so many people in their golf game want to work on the most complex things, but they don't get the simple things right. So let's look at irons, let's look at chipping, let's look at bunker play, putting, and finally driver, because they're the most important areas. Get these fundamentals right. First up, irons. I want to talk about ball position. So relative to the club that you've got, I want you to think about this. Pitching wedge always would be in the middle of your stance. I want you to work half a golf ball further forward as you go up in your stance. Nice and simple. Okay, this would allow you to hit down the golf ball appropriately to the length of club that you've got and allow you to square the face better too, or have a better chance of. So nice and simple, half a ball forward then from pitching wedge to 9, another half a ball forward to 8. The second one is grip. How are we holding it? What's our checkpoint? Well, this is all you need to think about. I want you to think about just getting that club in the fingers. Really nice and simple. Meaty part sits on top, and all I want you to do, test it. All these fingers off. This is a great, we can thank Ben Hogan for that one. Final, well, a little third one here, it's some rhythm. I told you this was a nice shot. Get a piece. Might have snuck a piece. Now, since we actually managed to hit the green here, let's talk about the putting fundamentals. Now, I think of it as this: number 1, grip pressure, right? We've got to be feeling as though our hands are on the golf club and we actually feel as though we don't want to crack an egg. I use this analogy all the time of, imagine you had an egg in your hand, okay? Don't want to squeeze it too tight, all the yolk's going to go on you. It's not going to be good. We want to feel as though our hands are nice and light on the golf club. That's what strikes me when all these better players, or I say better players, legends of the game, are holding their putter. So number 1 is grip pressure. Number 2 is arms and biceps on the side of the body, and I want you to feel like you're rocking a baby. So there's no disconnection. We feel as though we're all rocking it as a unit, and honestly, that's going to help you control your putter way, way more. No matter if that's long or a little diddler, we don't want to miss them because they keep our round going. So we've done irons, we've done putting, and I honestly think they'll save you shots. But we're on the 13th. I've managed to get a quiet spot. It's busy down here today. Definitely the Tiger effect and definitely the Masters effect has made it a lot busier. Right, so let's do some shorter game. Just pull some balls to the side. And I know those two will help you so far, but this will seriously help you strike your chips. 2 fundamentals coming up. First things first is we need to know how we choose the correct club because, well, there's literally 14 options in our bag. Now, I live and breathe by this chipping rule. Number 1, if you can put it, put it. So in a scenario like this, 100% get your putter out. Next up, if you can't put it, chip and run it. Last resort, get it in the air. So for an example here, I'm just out of the range of being able to put it. It's a bit too much grass, it's a little bit too thick. So a little 7-iron chip and run is my option. I want you to think, what club can I use to get that ball rolling out and like a putt as quick as possible? Just like this. Next is a simple routine that you can use to strike your chips away. And I like to think of it like this. When you're chipping, club head width apart, weight on your left, pull your left foot back, and we're ready to go. In this shot, this technique, keep your thumbs pointing to the ground, okay? Let's not feel too many angles being created for a bog standard chip like this in terms of It's not Phil Mickelson flop. So here we go. Tell you what, we'd take them. Bunkers. The arch nemesis of club golfers, right? Literally. So we skipped to the 14th green. Brilliant bunker and brilliant hole. I want you to think about this. First and foremost, first fundamental is grabbing your most lofted club. I personally carry 58 as my most lofted. You may be in the realms of 60, or maybe even Philly Mick, 64. Hopefully he's back playing soon. I think the game needs him, if I'm honest. So, what I want you to think about is this. Follow this routine and you'll get out the bunker first time, every time. Dig those feet in, okay? I want you to make sure you've got a solid base. Next up, make sure that ball position is just inside your left heel by a club head width. I also want you to take this concept into account. We're not looking to hit the ball. You heard me right? We're looking to cushion the sand onto the ball and cushion it onto the green. So, hold your golf club up in the air. I grip it normally, so make sure the club is nice and square. Then, I want you just to release your right hand off, if you're a right-handed golfer, and just slacken the pressure on your glove hand. Twist the face, re-grip with your left, put your right back on. That is how I want it to be. So now you look down, your grip's nice and normal for you, but your club face is a little bit open. Next, sit down, weight left. And that whole release, I want you to feel as though you're pointing the loft back at you. We're keeping our weight on our left, and I'm focusing, not on the ball, just that point behind, maybe a ball width. And that is the noise I want to see. In fact, let's correct myself, I want to hear. So where we're going to finish this video on is the 15th. I've got two drivers in here for a reason. Just testing another new one. I'm going to stick with the one that I have been going with. Right, so we're on to our final fundamental. Now at this point, you've covered all the aspects of the game so far that are really, really important. But I know this is where you want to be absolutely on top of your game with the driver. And this is one of the most demanding holes here at Mottram Hall, the 15th. You've got water all the way down the left, so it's vital that you get a decent drive away. Right, these are the fundamentals. So what do you need to know? Well, first and foremost is where our bottom of the arc is going to happen. I want you to understand this fundamental, right? As your club gets longer and as you tee it up higher, the more you want to hit up on the golf ball. So think of it this way. You've got your pitching wedge or your sand wedge, which you hit down the most on. As you go to 7-iron, then into 5-iron, into sort of hybrids and fairway woods, you hit down less. And if we're honest, sweep away when we get to sort of that fairway woods area. And then as the tee goes up, we want to start hitting up on the golf ball. So first thing that I do is when I'm sort of practicing, I grab my tee peg and I make a little bit of a mark just behind, or maybe a little bit of a cross, just something as a focus point to where my bottom of the arc is. And if I'm perfectly honest, I go and address at that point, because what I want to imagine is that the impact's happening later, because then my club's going to travel on the up. But before that, we've got to be able to stand to it. So there's tip one, but actually that should have come second. So what I want you to feel as though your trail shoulder is always lower than your lead shoulder. So a little bit like this. We've got a ball position inside our left heel, and we've got a position where we feel as though we're really nice and athletic over the golf ball. Not this way, nice and over it. And a nice checkpoint, hands should just be hanging down underneath your chin, not reaching and not too close. Really good checkpoint. And if I'm honest, you ready to go? Oh, dear Lord. Wow. Now, I know for a fact, if you can just take one of those tips from each part of that video, you will massively improve your golf game.